Hello, how's everybody doing? It is Tuesday, so here we are for Let's Mix It Up. Or Mixing It Up, whatever. I just woke up from a nap, so forgiveness. Seriously, I don't know what happened, dude, but I passed out. Alrighty, so, yeah, for today's show, we're just gonna be doing randomizing it. We're just gonna do like I know we've been doing like the Iron Chef thing, but like this week we're just like, hey, let's just do something random of something we've always wanted to do, and that's what we're kind of gonna do today. But first, before that, you guys want to do some what have you been mixing? You want
Sure.
take it away, Mitch? You had some goodies you were talking about.
Yeah, so um I've been vaping the heck out of the spice pear cheesecake from last week. Super happy with that. Um my mixed berry lemonade, I'm super pumped that I finally nailed. I feel like I nailed it. Um Getting lots of good you can distinctly pick out like the strawberry blue raz, the freshness of the lemonades coming through. It's not doesn't taste like lemon pledge or anything. So happy with those.
Always a good sign. Always a good
Yeah.
sign.
um, the the blueberry custard crumble that I made a while back. Um, I upped the last time I made a bottle. I upped the oatmeal cookie a touch, and this newest batch, I'm super happy with it. Um, yeah, those are kind of that, and those are what I've been mainly vaping on, and then the raspberry cheesecake that I've been working on too. It's kind of where I've been vaping on. What about you, Overdrip?
Well, actually, just before the show, this is not something that I personally designed, but I was talking with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about DIY or die, and he was saying like how he's really been using a bunch of his recipes and really like finding his own groove. So I just decided I was gonna go look at some of his recipes that are like readily available, and I found this one for a bomb pop, and I actually had everything. So I decided that I was gonna mix it up, and it's super good. Like I really like Slaughter Pop, so maybe I'll be able to do a direct comparison because I'm getting some bottles in because I hadn't ordered it in a real long time. But I think that I might end up liking this one better, um, just because it's really good. It's really good. As for stuff that I am personally working on, um, you know what? This week's been like a pretty like chilled out week for me. I did a little bit of mixing of like recipes that I already had. I'm trying to like build up a few I guess a little bit of stock, if you will, for myself, and like I wanna send a couple care packages out. So I've been just slowly working away at that. I've been getting all my I've been doing like these like little house cleaning things for DIY, right? So I'm going through like all of my concentrates and I'm like marking down like where I'm at. I'm not at that level where on ELR I've like put in how much I have of everything. So like I have nothing to tell me. So there's times where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a bunch of this, and then I find out that you just emptied a 120 ml bottle of what did I just Bavarian cream from Capella, and so I need to use that, and now I have none. So I had to like place an order today. Hopefully, I'll get it by Friday. But just like little things like that. So I was like, oh, maybe I should do like a inventory, if you will. So that's kind of been taking up a little bit more of my free time for DIY. I think that this weekend's going to be a pretty hard weekend, though. I'm going to go at it pretty hard. How about you, Clown?
Oh, honestly, I've been slacking off, but other than that, I mean, the mix I made last week with the blueberry cheesecake thing that came out perfect. Yesterday morning, while I was like driving around and stuff, I was vaping on it, and that gram finally came through, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude, this is amazing!" I was so excited about it, and over the course of the week, I did like kind of cave and gave into sweeteners, and honestly, it has brought up like the the flavoring quite up. So, I'm not gonna like try to shy too much away from it. It's just I always worry about overly sweetened juices. Like I was talking about yesterday on Vaping with the Ohmies. I like some of the transistor stuff, but holy shit, that stuff is just packed with sugar, and it's not.
Yeah, but
Like,
dude, that's like next level, right?
oh
Like
yeah,
there's like a huge medium between
yeah,
like that and something that's not really that sweet.
yeah. I mean, that's like the epitome of sweetener when it comes to liquids. Even though like Karango's still like my favorite from them, oddly enough. But yeah, so I've been kind of retooling some of those, trying to see how I can make the sweetener balance out with them. Like the frosted nuts, put in some sweetener in there, and that brought up a lot of notes that needed to like be boosted. But I still need to work on that frosting. The lemonade I still need to revisit, but I need to pick up some of that sweet tea lemonade. And I have a ton of these style Wonder Flavor bottles, and I realized that these little nipple thingies actually fit on there, so I'm gonna have to stock up on them.
Nice.
That way I could just do this instead of dealing with needles and stuff, because I hate syringes. Once you go by weight dripping, you can't go back, honestly. You just can't.
Dude, I'd honestly like never done that. And like I remember when you said, I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, you were talking about Adi Tooney and like
The
him and the
pipettes?
pipettes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even get that. Like, I don't even get it.
That's old school, dude. That's how they used to do it. Like back in the day, they had the pipettes and they would
But
just.
dude, they had digital scales like way before that. It's not
I know,
like
but
digital
okay, the
scales
progression, the
just-
progression was more like, at first they were just counting drops, and then eventually you started counting milliliters in the syringes and stuff, and then they realized that was kind of inaccurate, and then the digital scales came in. They're like, you know what? Why don't we go into digital scales? But like that was the progression. I mean, think about like wires, like with coil making. Some guys still do this shit by hand, literally. Like they sit there and wrap wire by hand, like they clapped in by hand. They don't care about drills or anything like that. Or
I
before.
get, you know what? I guess there was truth to that, but I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, dude, there was people weighing out like weed in the '90s.
Oh, I
with
know.
digital scales.
It
Like,
took a minute to catch on to the idea. That's pretty much like
Yeah,
it.
for real.
Oh no, yeah, dude. I jumped in around the time where like pipettes were going out and the syringes were coming in. That's when I jumped into DIY. It's fucking ridiculous to think about, but
Well, dude, I remember when I first ordered like DIY concentrates. It was probably 2016, and they had on like the website that I buy stuff from, like they had like their own like recipe creator, and there was an option for drips. And I was like, who the fuck would actually count? Because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, if I want to put like 3% of something, that's a lot of drips that I have to count. And like for me to replicate that every time, if I wanted to like make 4 bottles of it, I'm gonna be counting so damn much. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
there is actually I don't know, I don't remember the link or the name of it. If you probably go to DIY or Die and you look up one of his older videos, there is a link that takes you to the site where you could download a DIY program, and that one actually you could actually do it in drops in that program. Like it'll actually like it has it set to weight, volume, and drops.
I mean, I guess if you know how to do it, like if you're ever stuck and your scale breaks, you're not going to be scrambling and just thinking, oh, okay, well, I guess I can't mix anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah,
Of
yeah. They still have. It's even like if you look at ELR, there's a water vodka PGA selection on there, and that's because people actually used to put that as dilutants in their mixes back in the day. So I don't know why they haven't taken that off, because nobody does that anymore. But that was a thing at one point.
which is
I just thought that was on there for Sifu, since he likes to mix like he's a cocktail maker. He's a bartender.
Sifu is he's a speakeasy in the 1920s. That's what he is, man. I mean,
You know what? I think
mustache.
that's probably pretty true. Like,
Speaking of Sifu, he's not here today. He's doing family things, and he'll be back next week. But yeah, talking about the good old days and new mixers and stuff. Mitch, you had a question that you posed to us to give us a minute to think about, but floor's all
Yeah.
yours, man.
So my question that I had was, let me find, like, I was actually getting ready to look in Discord at where I said it because I wanted to make sure that I worded it worded it properly. Um, so what are 5 flavors that you would recommend to a new mixer to have in their flavor stash, and why? I just thought that it would be something like kind of staples. Like, what are your like 5 staples that you would recommend to a newbie to have in their stash?
And see, and
Um,
that's like a really heavy question because seriously, I thought about it, and it's a really heavy question in the sense of where are you thinking of going? That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
like I
first
think
thing.
that depends on like if you're a dessert vapor, you're gonna get 5 different flavors than if you're like a fruit person.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you love mixing fruits, what like why am I gonna tell you to get like Cat B1 vanilla custard? Like it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Um, and like I
so,
think that everyone should have a sweetener.
Yes.
Like that, I do think that everyone should have whatever one that you want. Like I actually just got in for the first time. I got Capella Super Sweet
Mm-hmm.
in like last week, and I've used it. I haven't used it personally, like in any recipe of my own, but it was in this bomb pop. And dude, I put in 0.5%,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's sweet, man. Like I don't know, maybe it would have been sweet without sweetener. I don't know. I didn't mix it without sweetener. I just mixed it literally exactly how like Wayne had put it up. And if it I almost want to try it with like what I would normally use and see where it was. But I think that like sweetener is definitely something that everyone should have. I don't know if every recipe needs it, but like I think that it's just nice to have. So that
Mm-hmm.
would be like a universal thing. But then there's like if you were to ask me about desserts, like I don't even know if I could say for sure which ones I think that a person would need to have 5 of or 4 of,
I would say at
because like
least
I can't give you a recipe.
standard cream bases. Like a Bavarian, a custard.
so like the way I do a little bit of both. Like, I predominantly now vape desserts, but I do on occasion vape a little bit of like fruity stuff. And like on my list, I have Capella Vanilla Custard V2. That's been my favorite. Um, I like a lot of, when I do vape fruity stuff, I tend to lean towards lemonades, and the base that I use a lot is Liquid Barn's Pink Lemonade. It's really good. Um, Liquid Barn's vanilla ice cream is really good. And I use a little bit of that, and I use that, some of that in my vanilla custards too, because it's very vanilla. Um, I Out of all the different blue raspberries I've tried, Liquid Barn's been my favorite for that too. So I have a Capella, 3 Liquid Barns. Um, Flavor Jungle's Strawberry Sweet has been one that I use a lot. I do, when I use that, I balance it. I do like TFA's Ripe Strawberry to kind of balance the sweetness. And then I actually had a 6th because, and Seafood turned me onto it, and now I've been using it in a lot of my recipes. Um, to cut back on my sweetener, I've been using his marshmallow trick, and that's awesome. I was funny. I was actually, that you brought up sweetener, because I was talking to you guys about it in Discord. That I had never used the super sweet. Like, the only sweetener I'd really used was the Liquid Barn, and I definitely want to try some other ones because I think that that's one of the reasons why I feel like I have so much more sweetener in my recipes is because the Liquid Barn sweetener is very diluted.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as strong as some of the other ones. So I'm gonna my next order of flavors and stuff. I do have some of that coming so that I can try and cut back on the sweetener.
Well, I feel
But
like
yeah,
with that one, right? With super sweet, like I said, I used 0.5% in that. So I was thinking about, like try mixing with it whenever I would like want to use sweetener. I'm just gonna like cut whatever I would normally use in half and try the Capella super sweet. And if that works for me, like it's not really a big expense, but it is savings because it costs the same amount to buy the super sweet as it does to buy the sweetener that I would normally use. And if I instead of using like 0.75% or 1%, I'm using 0.5% or less, I mean that means I'll literally be buying a bottle at one half or double the time it
Mm-hmm.
would last. Which I mean, fuck. I'm pretty sure that all of us kind of like you're always looking at new flavorings or like you're thinking about making something and you don't really have maybe a raspberry that to you tastes like a some you use in a bakery, so you're looking at raspberries and you're always looking for stuff. So like I'm always ordering more concentrates. It's not really that big of a deal, but it's like even just like you said, sometimes it's hard for me personally that I struggle to not look at the total flavoring when I'm done like brainstorming like putting together a recipe. And I'm like,
yeah,
ooh, like that's 17%. I'm like, no, that's too high. I have to like relook and reevaluate and whatever else. And if you're adding, more sweetener or whatever else, it's just like upping that number, making it like harder and harder to not just wanna, you know what I mean? Like worry about it.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. And again, I will say if you're looking into going into more like menthol fruits, I would recommend like WS3 or WS23 instead of Culata. I know like the a lot of people just lean towards that. Personally, I hate the taste. It tastes really funky, and if you're wanting to go into menthol style vapes, I would go with those recommendations.
when
Oh.
See, I don't
for
own
my
anything like
menthol
that.
Mm?
for the when I do like an iced or a menthol, I do use the Flavor Jungle. I'm not gonna focus. The Flavor Jungle Culata and then the Liquid Barn menthol.
Mm.
I use a mix of those two.
I haven't tried either one of those, but I don't vape menthols all that often.
Yeah,
Uh,
very rarely
I've
do
never
I.
even thought about making one. Like
yeah.
I've looked at it. I remember I was looking at it maybe a month ago, and I had like WS23 in my cart. And then when I looked at my total, I was like, oh man, I don't need to spend another like $100 on flavorings. So I started like paring it down, and that was like one of the first ones to go because I was like, I don't
You don't have
know
a need
why
for
would
it.
yeah, like I don't ever really like vaping menthols. I don't even have that like 1 week where I'm like, ooh, it'd be nice to have fuck something nice and cool. Nah.
Yeah.
Like just
I,
give
I
me
was I
custard.
was with you on that mindset until I tried the menthol. That kind of brought me back to menthols. Otherwise, they all choke me up and make me cough like crazy.
Okay, so benthol, I don't mind it, but I don't think that I ever want it. Like, do I want Ben? Yeah. Do I want benthol? Yes, because it tastes like Ben, but I don't need it to be cool. Like I'd be cool if it was like just regular Ben. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'd be looking. I'd be like that secondary, like, okay, well, it is Ben, kind of.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I get that, man. Uh,
Yeah,
Sif.
I don't know how many times I've tried a bottle of juice. 'Cause I used to get the um, sample box, and like I get like it's a lemonade, and go to vape it. Smells really good. Go to vape it, and it's got like a touch of Culata or something in it, and it just kills it. Like don't and like put that shit on the bottle. Don't. don't make me figure it out like that. That
Yeah.
kills it for me.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, and we've talked about this before. I think just in like before the show or after the show, or in before we started doing the show, we were talking to meetings and stuff. Uh, like what is it, Bogan's Kura and Cola or whatever it was called. That thing
Yeah.
would be great if it didn't have that culotta in there. Seriously.
Oh, dude, I would slay that shit. It would be gross.
And the
how
majority
much
of
I'd
people
vape
would
that.
agree with that statement, honestly. I don't know how many people I've heard say this would be good if it didn't have that cooling in it. It does throw it off a little bit.
Probably like every North American you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like North America lost the fucking. They never got the memo of like, hey, let's put cooling and stuff. Like it's not really that common.
Yeah, it really isn't. That's all I gotta say to that. Seafood did send me his suggestions. What were you gonna say?
Oh, nice. I was gonna say that. Can I just point out how, since it's Turk Tuesday, can I just point out how sexy this Just Right unicorn looks with this red Turk and this platinum chop top? Because it's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Nice.
Loving it.
I did mix up a bottle of Seafood's Reserve over the week. I forgot about that.
Nice.
He sent me a one shot.
I think I'm gonna make. Since you guys have talked about doing the one shots, I think that there are a couple recipes that I'm happy with enough to do that, to mix up one shots. Because for the longest time, I was constantly playing and adjusting and feeling like they weren't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally feel like I've reached a spot with a few of them to start going that route.
Hey, dude, it's not bad to test out everything, because even like one of my staple recipes I recently redid, and I think it's gotten way better. What's that? It's not focusing.
I know it's not. It's not going to. I was thinking about showing like everyone before I put it in, but it's not gonna work. It's a Wonder Flavors cream filling.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm just gonna start mixing, so because
Okay.
I'm always scrambling at the end to like figure out what I think about it.
All
So
right.
I'm just gonna start while you talk about what Sifu sent in.
All right.
I was gonna start.
So Sifu's suggestions were the Flavor West Butterscotch Ripple. He said it adds darkness flavors in bakeries, doesn't present as a caramel or a candy butterscotch, has a creamy note, more like a butterscotch topping for ice cream or caramel pudding, made from condensed milk. Then there's the Flavor Art Meringue and Marshmallow, works as a binder for bakeries and as a booster for fruits. Used, dude gave me like full on great descriptions here. Used in equal parts, they round off the shape and edges of create a better middles. Helps mixes take more natural sweetness, so less sweetener is required, and helps reducing bulk and improving cotton and coil life.
I love his descriptions.
Yeah, I like this one. This one surprised me because I know a lot of people are not the world's biggest fan of like this style of flavoring. But let's see what he has to say. Capella Sweet Guava Ultimate Juicer, used with bakeries with fruit to present a more natural flavor. Used with fruit to make juicier and improve mouthfeel. I like Little Flavor Art Fuji in equal parts as an enhancer. And Flavora Mango adds a syrupiness to tropical fruits, gives a dark dankness to the stone fruits, part of the Holy Trinity for peach, apricot, mango, peach, yellow, or white. And then Capella Vanilla Custard V2. Not the best standalone custard, but adds eggy, vanilla, sugar, and body that needs boost bakeries, honestly. And that's how I personally use the V2, the custard V2. That I use it in that sense. It's more of an enhancer. It's more of a background type thing. Never really use it as like the main staple behind it. And so I totally agree with him on that one. Like he even did honorable mentions. Kentucky bourbon.
Of course he did.
Yeah, this is so Sifu.
I love him so much.
Sifu is like very on point guy, man. Let's see, Kentucky bourbon. It's rare to bake anything without some type of alcohol. Boost bakeries, beverages, great with stone fruits. And then, and Overdrip knows this one. Acetylprizine. Hopefully I'm saying that right. The secret to cookies: use lightly. It will turn to Fritos. I love that he always talks about the Fritos.
Yeah,
It's like it smells like Fritos.
it really does smell like Fritos, though.
Yeah. And then this was the mix he wanted me to submit for this week. I'm posting the link for you guys. If you guys were lovers of Yig back in the day, he thinks his description is it's not exactly Yig, but it's pretty darn close. So if you guys want to get a good blackcurrant cookie going, there's a nice little recipe for you. All right, let's get into the mixing portion of the show. So what are you guys doing?
All right. So what I'm doing is when I was a kid, my mom, she used to make she would make dessert every now and then. It wasn't like an every night thing. It'd be like maybe like Sunday dinner, there'd be like dessert.
Mm-hmm.
And she would make this dessert that she used to call it ecstasy in a pan because she didn't probably feel like saying sex in a pan to like her children.
Mm-hmm.
So it was called ecstasy in a pan, and what everyone else knew it as was sex in a pan. And it was basically like vanilla pudding with like a chocolatey graham cracker cookie base with a bit of whipped cream, and it had like shredded milk chocolate on the top, and you'd like serve it cold. Like it would be in the fridge, and you get it out and you'd serve it.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that I was gonna try to make something. I don't think that I could make something that tasted exactly like it, but it was like my tribute to that. So I put it on ELR, and the title is "Sex in a Vape."
I just posted the link for it if you guys are interested in mixing it.
But Sex in a Vape. So Mitch was kind of like hacking me a little bit before because I have a ton of stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna see if it works out. I feel like it could. I actually haven't really used Glamour chocolate before, but I heard Addy Tooney say that it was like it was a nice chocolate. So I've never used it. I thought that what better time than now. And there's a couple of like flavorings that I'm used to using, so I know them pretty good. That's why like I kind of have like this high hope. And I also like mixed up like a pudding base to try to get like a base mark, like a benchmark for where I could start puddings at, even though one of the flavorings I'm using is Vape Train Australia pudding base, but there's more to it than just that.
Okay.
And so yeah, like it's sex in a vape. Hopefully it's sex. No, I'm not gonna say it. No, sex in my mouth. That'd be great.
Okay. He stopped himself. He's like, "Fuck it."
No, full send, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically me. I'm almost ready to start adding VG too. I'm going quick today, boys.
So
whoever wants to go ahead.
So since I've been kind of this latest version of that mixed berry lemonade that I've been working on, like the first two versions I made like a month and a half, 2 months ago. And then I put it down for a while. And since I've been vaping that so tough the last day and a half, 2 days, I've kind of been wanted to go in that route because I do tend to lean very bakery, custardy heavy. And so I wanted to do like a gummy candy. And I wanted to I don't use a lot of apple in most of my stuff. And so I wanted to do, I called it a Strapple sour gummy, but it's a strawberry apple sour gummy. I'm using the sour gummy for Liquid Barn. That's kind of like my base. And we'll see how it goes. That's kind of where like I feel like I'm strongest with the desserts and stuff. So I'm happy and excited to do something in this direction to see how it goes, to kind of build the fruity candy muscle, I suppose. But
Hey, that
I'm
makes
using
sense, man.
I'm using Sifu's trick. It's got a little bit of marshmallow in it. I figure, hey, gummy candy, a little bit of marshmallow, a little bit of Liquid Barn green apple, the strawberry sweet from Jungle Flavors.
Yeah. Real
About you,
quick.
Paul?
Yeah, I was gonna right before I get into that. Anthony Ramella asks, "I really like caramel vapes. Do you guys have any heavy e-liquid mixes? Any caramel heavy e-liquid mixes?" I'm gonna say no. Do you guys?
Boys, I went the right way this week, and I'm just going straight from the 1 liter bottle instead of squeezing from a 120.
I don't do like I have some butterscotch flavorings and stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really used them, but I'm very interested, and so I mean soon I'm hopefully
Okay,
gonna
well,
have
just Mitch, just
something.
for the record, butterscotch, caramel, very different. Although they are brown and sweet, they don't
Yeah,
really taste close.
yeah.
Yes. Actually, no. I take it back. I do have one that I still need to work on some more. I was trying to make a caramel apple type thing, and I need to work on that recipe again. I just haven't revisited it yet. I vaped through the whole thing, and the caramel is like kind of a background note. It's not like in your face like it needs to be. But other than that, I don't really. I haven't played around with caramel stuff all that much, or caramels, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, like I've used so I've for anyone out there that's like a stooge, you know who like Q80 Vaper is Aziz, who
Mm-hmm.
also is he's an Ohmy.
Mm-hmm.
Um he loves this liquid that I make fun of him for all the time. And it's from the Sauce LA. It's like that company that sells like
Oh,
120s
the
for
caramel
$5.
waffle.
Yeah, the caramel waffle cappuccino.
Yes.
So I literally have like taken upon myself to just like make a recipe that just shits all over that liquid. And then I don't even know how I'll get it to Aziz, but I'll find a way to get it to Aziz. And I'll be like, here, stop vaping that fucking trash, and you can vape this stuff that's good.
Right.
That's my goal. So actually, I guess that goes back to what I've been working on. That's one thing that I'm working on. I actually got 2 more cappuccino flavorings, and I came home to them today.
Yeah.
Because I did the first time I did it, I had to use an espresso or an espresso because I didn't have any of a cappuccino. So I ordered 2 cappuccinos to see which one looks better.
Oh, Anthony Rebelli. Butterscotch is in your grandma's purse. Caramel's what you lick off your girlfriend. Very different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, peanut butter stout juice now, and that's the thing. Trying to recreate the stout portion of that's where I'd have to look into that and see. I haven't played with like liquor style vapes all that much, and I need to jump into that. I just haven't. Where'd my recipe?
I don't even really like the way that a lot of liquors taste. So for me, that would be just like this like fruitless endeavor because I'd
it's
never
like, yeah. See, I like. It's one of those weird things of I want to, but then I'm scared to because I don't want to waste my time. But then seeing Sifu and all the crazy shit he's been doing lately with the liquor stuff, I'm like, I can join the speakeasy.
Yeah, see, like I think that that's like one of those things I'll just like let it be. Like seafood, that shit, bro.
Yeah. That's not really my jam.
And
It's
see,
all-
like,
You can have it all.
I spent my like early to mid 20s as an amateur mixologist. You know how like you have like MacGyver smokers? Me and my brother were MacGyver drinkers. You'd be like, I only got a lime and 2 ice cubes. What can I do with this? And we're like, bro, we're gonna get you trashed. It's really bad. But
Did you ever like take fruit scraps and put them in a bucket in your room and just like let them?
Yeah, we
like,
never
ate
did the. We never did
create
Are you
the.
talking about
We never did a trash can
Pooch?
punch. No, that's trash can punch. Or
Well, and he said take it in his room. I was like, oh, you letting it ferment? You're making some prison
Yeah, that's
hooch?
I meant like let it ferment.
oh, let it
fucking
ferment. Nah, we didn't go that heavy.
Make your own hard liquor.
We didn't go that heavy.
You did say amateur. So that would be more like professional backyard mixing.
No, it's more we're not that backwoods. We're still city boys, sadly enough. Even though Mark's hooch was amazing, and I still wish I could get my hands on some more.
You know what? It was really good. Like that. When I tried it, I was like, well, everyone else is gonna go blind if I'm gonna go blind, so might as well. Like, I kind of stay away from like homemade liquor because I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
But then once I tried it, I was like, wow, this is pretty good.
Dude, it was so
Dude,
good.
that weekend will forever be remembered in my brain for like the millions of things. And like, I guess just with times like that, it like will further cement it. You know what I mean?
To me, hometown hero wearing fucking shower caps around the house. Yeah, don't know why, but that's always gonna stick with me. Well, mostly because the fucking fire department showed up, but still.
Yeah.
And Swaggins talking his way out of us getting a ticket for setting the alarm on. Oh,
dude, I'll never forget like the look at Demo's face that whole like hour that it was like uncertain what was gonna happen, and he's like, "Oh, the Airbnb people are gonna call." I'm like, "We're gonna get kicked out. Like, what are we gonna do when? Like, where are we gonna find a hotel for everyone?" And it's like, dude, relax. The worst case scenario is like they ding you with some sort of fee, and we just split it. There's like 15 people at this fucking place. It's not really that big of a deal.
Alrighty, so for what I was doing when I was younger, whenever I heard the word coffee cake, I literally thought it was cake made from coffee. And oddly enough, over the weekend, I did have espresso tres leches cake, which is amazing. But I went with like a pound cake and some coffee flavorings, and we're just gonna see how bad this goes. I'm excited, I'm nervous, and all that.
Well, I'll say this. First of all, I have a Dead Rabbit SQ with a dual alien build in it.
Nice.
And like at 85 watts, like this thing is just like so fucking crackly and like ripping. Once the cotton breaks in, I'll tell you what I think. Hopefully my battery.
Yeah, I was just about to.
Dude, I was
actually just about to ask you what you guys were testing in today.
I figured out what my tester is, since I have like a million of them, and it's still my go-to. Fucking recoil. Gives me an excuse to a different recoil setup.
I'm using the Barrage today with a 4-wrap 5-core alien from my buddy, another buddy in Idaho, Lunatic Builds, and this thing is very crackly.
Okay, so far this is what I think about what I mixed. It's not bad. I would not say it's bad at all. I would say that it's like not very creamy really at all yet. Now I'm assuming, because like a lot of the stuff that I have in here, there's like 3 ingredients that I use out of the 8 that I've used before, and the rest is all like fresher stuff. And I'm assuming that like that vanilla pudding, like flavor of vanilla pudding, is gonna need a bit of time to get a little bit creamy. I can't imagine it's like shake and vape, because when you smell it, it smells creamy, and I don't really get that much cream right now. And then I use like TPA, like vanilla custard 2, which, by the way, how the fuck do you type in the 2? Like, I've been zenned on that friggin' thing like 3 times because I don't know how to write it. So then I have to like find a recipe that I already have created, cut and paste that fucking description, and then put it in on the other one so I can get it to pop up and click on it. And I'm
You
just
added
like,
it to
God
your
damn it!
stash.
I want to get Zen. Like that's the whole point. Like I don't want that. What's up, Fatty Tooney?
Dude, we need to make
But I can
getting
taste
Zen a
the
thing in the DIY
chocolate.
world.
The chocolate is good. Like I use the right amount of chocolate.
Mhm.
Shout out to Addy Tooney. Glamour chocolate could possibly be like the truth for me because I really like what it's doing in this. And I kind of hope like, dude, I put in less than 1% of graham cracker V2, and I'm hoping that it like tones down a little because I don't know about you guys, but to me, I get like a slight lemon ish from the graham cracker V2. So I'm kind of hoping that all like the creams kind of fill in and stop that, and I just get more of the graham cracker. Who knows if that'll happen or not? But I could vape this right now. I'd just be left wanting more. So we'll see. I think that it has potential to be all right.
So off
Should put
the smell and the knuckle test, I definitely got strawberry, apple, and gummy. Right now with vaping it, I'm getting a very light amount of apple and mostly the strawberry and the gummy coming through. One thing I've noticed, the sour gummy, it normally needs about like 4 or 5 days. Every recipe I've ever used it in needed about 4 or 5 days to kind of get rid of that like alcohol-y kind of flavor. But it's not bad. It's not bad off the shake.
Nice. I think I cracked Grindhouse Americano. It straight up reminds me of it.
Oh, really? Well, that's fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is hilarious. I need to confirm with Issa. I'm gonna have to message him. I was like, bro, I think I cracked your liquid. Unintentionally, might I add, but still. Yeah, all I'm tasting is the coffee for now. There's like none of the bakery. Like there's like that texture of bakery, but it's not like present. Like the coffee, I went minimal with the coffee, and I did do like a Bailey's Irish cream in there just to add a little bit of oomph to it. And yeah, like that's just taken over completely. But it doesn't taste like burnt popcorn, so that is a big plus for me.
I actually taste the whipped cream, which I'm surprised about right now.
Nice.
Because, like I said before, this dessert was like one of those desserts that when I was a kid and I saw that that was what we were gonna have, I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's what we're gonna have." Because that shit is fire. Like, I was like a picky kid to when it came to like certain things. Like I didn't realize till I was in my 30s that like textures bothered me. I just assumed that everything I tried when I was a kid, I didn't like the way it tasted, and I didn't really revisit it. And then when I was like in my early 30s, I was like, man, you know what? Like fuck this. I'm way too picky. If I go to someone's house, I end up like barely eating anything, and then like or I'm forcing stuff down my throat that like I don't like or whatever else. So I was like, I need to like start retrying like everything. I have to start at zero, and like whenever I'm offered something, I gotta try it. And then I started to realize that the reason why I don't like some things is because I have a problem with consistencies. So like if I'm eating something I think is supposed to be soft and it's not soft, that throws me off and it automatically tastes gross to me. Like it's automatically like that pit in my stomach, like, oh my God, if I keep eating this, I'm gonna throw up. Like I get those feelings. And so like certain things I just can't do. Like I love bananas. I love the way that they taste, but I can't eat a banana. I can eat it cooked, right? No problem. Tastes phenomenal. I can have it in a pudding, love it. If I'm trying to eat a banana, like I peel a banana, I'm trying to eat it, that mushiness grosses me the fuck out. And the minute my teeth start to push through it, I gag, right? And that happens like green beans if I'm eating like wax beans or like whatever, and they squeak on my teeth, which apparently like I've talked to people and they're like they don't squeak,
They
and
do
I'm like, well,
squeak.
whatever that feeling it is, to me that's a squeak, and I can't stand it. I actually love the taste of green beans, but they fucking squeak and it makes me gag. I can't help it.
I think it's funny that your mom had a dessert called that because growing up, my mom used to make a cake that she found. I don't even know where she got the recipe, but it was called Better Than Sex Cake. And it was a poke cake where you'd make a chocolate cake, and then when it was still warm, you'd poke a bunch of holes in it and drizzle caramel sauce over it, and then cover it with like Cool Whip, and then sprinkle like toffee chunks all over the top of it, and it was delicious.
Okay, well, yeah,
But
man. My mom's like, honestly, I'm typing in chat. My mom is like super like conservative. Like she would never say any of that stuff. Like I never even heard my mom swear until I was probably like in my mid 20s.
My mom
Like,
has to
and
be
it was
really
like
pissed to cuss.
it, and like she literally almost like had a meltdown because she was so embarrassed and disappointed in herself for like swearing in front of one of her children. I'm like, in my head I'm thinking like my sister did not get any of this from you, mom, because I've heard her say every single curse word in the book. Like my sister, as she's more like my dad, like she can just fly out the handle in a split second.
Mm.
And so I always found it funny that my mom was like so reserved and like she's so quiet, and she would never like try to upset anyone. So yeah, she would never have said sex in a pan. Like she called it ecstasy in a pan because I think that she felt like ecstasy in a pan was like beyond what we could understand as kids. But like everyone, by the time you're like 10, you understood what sex was. Even if you didn't know what sex meant or what it did, you knew like that kind of idea of what was going on.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't do that.
There was something I was gonna say. Oh yeah, you were talking about bananas, and you said you like them cooked. How? I'm curious now.
Oh, okay. So I like them cooked. I love banana bread. I love
Okay.
banana muffins. I don't
Okay.
mind. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say I don't mind. I actually enjoy like bananas Fosters or bananas Foster or however you properly say that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really like plantains that much.
Mm-hmm.
But like when
They're a
it
whole
comes
different
to
texture, dude.
bananas,
yeah,
yeah, like well, maybe I'd like them more than I like bananas. Like basically, anytime bananas are cooked, I'm probably good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like banana cream pie, fuck yeah, but that's not the fruit. That's like a whole mixture of things.
hmm
Like Addy Tooney's making it look like he hates bananas.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Sorry,
mean,
I like the taste of them, Addy. I just don't like the consistency.
what is it? In like Central America, what we do is we get plantains, cut them up into like slivers and stuff, and then we
Mhm.
pan fry them. They caramelize. And that is some good breakfast right there.
See, like, what would you just like fry them and with no oil or anything,
No,
or like
yeah,
how?
a little
What,
bit of like vegetable oil or something.
and then just all the sugars that are in them is
Yeah,
what caramelizes
yeah,
everything.
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you just do like a very thin bit of oil. You don't need like a whole lot. They cook up really quick. It's like my mom also makes where she gets like plantains, mushes them up and stuff, and then makes kind of like an empanada, but with
Ooh.
like a cream based like filling, and then just kind of folds it over with the plantain and makes like an empanada. And those are good. Again, you just pan fry them. Those are delicious. I haven't had
Man,
those in a while.
that's like one thing that I honestly like I missed as like growing up as just like a kid that was super Canadian. And my mom would be like would not cook worldly shit. I honestly don't even think that I had like pasta until I was like a teenager
Yeah.
because I had it because I grew up in an area with a lot of Italian people, like
Mm-hmm.
well, a lot of people that had parents that were from Italy or whatever else, you know what I mean? Like that kind of heritage. And I remember going to a friend's house when I was probably like 12, 13, and we had spaghetti with like a meat sauce. And I was like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Like, why has my mom not made this before? And I like went home and told my mom about it like it was like some big deal. And she's like, yeah, that's like lasagna. And she's like, I make lasagna. I'm like, but I don't, yours doesn't taste like what I had today. And she's like, oh. And like, so then my mom like quickly, I feel like she started to like make pasta with meat sauce, but it would just be like ragu. All she would do is like take like a jar of ragu sauce or whatever, like pure whatever generic kind of stuff, and she'd just cook meat and throw that sauce on it. And I'd be like, well, I mean, this is still good, but it's not like as good as Mike's mom shit. You know what I mean? Like it's like next level. But then, you know, I started as I got older, you'd see, and I would see, you know, like my friends would have like their you know, grandma and grandpa would come over and their aunts and uncles, and they'd like have all these bushels of tomatoes, and like their entire garage would be like bushels of tomatoes, and they'd be like making sauce for like everyone that they fucking knew. It seemed like they'd all have like that base tomato sauce, and you'd have like these parties and whatever else. And then I'd see that they wouldn't just take that sauce and then put it on pasta. They would like, that would be the base, right? And they'd like add all these other things to it. And then so as an adult now, I can make like some pretty good pasta sauce. Like if you came to my house for pasta, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. You might
Yeah.
not be like, oh my God, I feel like I'm at like some Italian like place in fucking Rome. But like you'd be like, that's pretty good for like just some average Canadian dude that's not like Chef Ramsay.
No, yeah. It's kind of like growing up. My mom always made lasagna for us, but I didn't know the lasagna was supposed to have ricotta cheese in it. And the first time I tried it with ricotta cheese, I was like, "This is kind of gross." I did not like that.
Yeah, I don't really like that part either. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay, but it can't be like super heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like it just with like more basic, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still good. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but
Not
put some mozzarella on that bitch. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Some Italian blend or something. I don't know. Alrighty. We're coming to a close here. You guys want to do some promo stuff? Mitch, you want to go first?
Kind of same as always. Just if you have any questions or anything, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Discord.
ELR.
Yeah, ELR. You can leave comments. You know,
Remind them to use
tell me
the
I'm
right
not doing
flavorings.
shit right. You know, bully me if you'd like for a comment somebody else made. I'm cool with that too.
Dude, I'll never live that down. I'm kind of okay with
it. You know, yeah. That's about it. Yeah. What about you, Overdrip?
Well, I'm gonna continue to throw funny jokes in at people's recipes. I think just in order that I might get Zend, which I'm cool with, because I guess
love it.
really this is the thing, right? He's making it so I am more professional, which I appreciate because he's doing it for free. So
And he's
thank you very
giving
much,
your
Zen.
recipes more views, so it might bring you up in the
That is
analytics.
true,
Who
and
knows?
it gives me comment. I remember the first time that he like commented, I was like, oh my God, somebody commented on my recipe, and then I was like, no, it's this dude that's telling me that I fucked up. I was like, that was amazing. Whatever, it's fine, it's fine. Well, thanks everybody for coming out this week. Hopefully, you know, you guys would like to try something. I'll let you guys know in the future. That's the thing. If I'm making like a dessert, it's going to be a while before I really get into it because I like to let things sit for a bit because otherwise I end up opening it, and if it tastes like pretty good, I'll just vape it all and then I'm back at ground zero. So more often than not, I try to not open it other than like a knuckle here or there. until like I feel like it's been long enough. So like even that one last week, like that peanut butter cheesecake, like I've just knuckled it. I haven't vaped it since last week when we first mixed it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the same goes for this one tonight. Like I'll probably end up following up with it maybe like 2-3 weeks from now. So I mean, if you guys want, you can go and you have all the stuff that I put in them, mix it up, and we'll do it together in like 3 weeks. All right, so now just for some plugs for myself. So Fridays, Frank's Janklin Vaper channel. You can check me out on the Green Room. I'm not sure if we have a guest this Friday. I can't quite remember. I think that we might, but I'm not sure. You guys can check us out there. You can also check us out on SoundCloud for the Shit Time podcast. We just have a good time, and it's not necessarily like super vape related. Like last weekend, we had Angela Garrity on, and it was a great conversation. I think that Angela is just such a wonderful woman, and we were talking about her new podcast. Which, if you guys are looking for like a nice, easy listen for the time wise, uh, Angela's got like a pretty cool podcast. She has like 10 episodes, and they're some of the episodes are like 5 minutes, some of them are 10-12 minutes. They're not really long, so if you're just running out to the store, you can kind of pop it on, and I would recommend it because uh, Angela is a wonderful woman that's like not scared to talk about stuff that a lot of people would not normally talk about. So you might be able to get that little bit of encouragement for yourself to like really look yourself in the mirror and everything else. And I've been enjoying. I've listened to maybe 6 episodes, something like that. So I've really been enjoying it. That she was on the podcast. It was a great time. Um, Other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Feel free to go check out my ELR. As every week goes on, it's going to be higher and higher. I haven't published like everything that I used to do, just because some of it's not great and some of it I'd rather just keep to myself. But as we go forward, it's going to start to build up and build up. And some of the recipes I have revised, I guess, like after a certain amount of times went by, I kind of like went back in and tweaked a little bit. So from what I tasted uh, originally on the show, it's all of them are probably going to be slightly tweaked just because I'm trying to make sure that those recipes don't just get like set and forget. I kind of want them to be a better recipe if I can.
Yeah.
So that's everything for me.
When
Go
you
ahead, Con.
revise recipes, do you make sure to throw a little comment in the comment section to kind of give reasons for your revision? I've
Some of
seen
them
people that do that.
okay, so some of them that haven't been really that major, it'd be like just tweaking the percentages a little bit. So like it might be like, oh, this is at 1.5%, and I tweaked it down to like 1.25, but I kept a couple other things the same and whatever. I think it's just I'm doing it more so I feel it's like more well rounded. So like the one from the very first episode, I think it was, no, it was the second one. I can't remember. It was the lychee, blackcurrant lychee berries. Like I dropped the percentage of the berries down quite a bit because even after like 2 weeks, like that's was the main note, and that was not my goal. And actually, that's like one of those things that I tried mixing it with a different berry, and it's way better. So it's like one of those things I don't know if I should like change the recipe like and take that flavoring out and put the other one in. I don't know. um so I'll just like do like a version 2 or something. I don't really know. I'm still new to all this like sharing recipe thing, so
Yeah.
that's why like for me lots of things are always like a work in progress. And then when I get them to a certain point, I move them to a different folder in my ELR, and they're like I have like 12, 15 recipes in there that I feel are good enough like I can make anytime and enjoy it, or if somebody I know wants to try something, I have something that's close to it, like I would feel good about mixing it. So I guess I'm gonna learn as I go along. And I'm sorry, Clown, I
No,
was
yeah,
supposed
you're
to
good,
buzz to
dude.
you in that.
No, yeah. He asked a really good question because honestly, I do the same thing. I'll go through the recipes and retweak them if I need to, if I'm still in the working in phases. And I always do forget to add notes of like, well, this is what I started with or something. I mean, I just change it, and anybody new to the recipe wouldn't even know the difference. So, unless you misspelled it and then somebody made a comment on it. But,
Yeah, one day I'll get a comment on a recipe. Like Daytime Frank commented on one of them, and I was so pumped because I thought for sure it was like I got Zen. But then I saw it was like Daytime Frank, and I was like, yes, I actually got like a legitimate fucking comment. This is amazing.
Right. Oh, man. But other than that, yeah, hopefully we'll be back here on Thursday for Wolfbite. Come hang out with us, and we'll see what we're up to on that show. Then I'm going to try to get some review videos out. I have one coming out tomorrow. Go check that out. Then, what's it called? Teespring, if you guys are interested in any, like the Clown Vape stuff, the Wolfbite stuff, or the Mixing It Up shirt, we do have one up on Teespring if you guys are interested in picking any of that up. And then I got some projects in the works, stuff like that. Then you could go check out kbtvshop.com for any coils, juice stuff I make. And what else? Yeah, I think that's it. Alrighty, so and go check out the ELR. I actually have recipes on there that aren't all private now. Because I mean, I have like a ton of recipes, but they're private. Yeah, they're like, I barely have any recipes. Even I think at one point I got asked, "Where are your recipes?" I was like, "They're all private." But it's also, I'm finally progressing into that level of, okay, these are things that I'm okay with people just making it. I don't care. So, all right, other than that, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next week. So bam, as always, vape on, mix on.